A Morning of Rainbow by Jayce. Your mind is still a little blank, as it normally is when you wake up. A month or two ago, you would have half expected your alarmingly loud alarm clock, you facepalm yourself for the bad pun, to wake you up. But you've learned to stop expecting it. You still wonder if you're dreaming sometimes. Looking around, it's hard to believe otherwise, considering you're sleeping on a cloud bed in a town filled with colorful and magical talking ponies. But as you pinch yourself, you convince yourself for 1,000,000th time that it is real. You're inside a Roman-designed cloud mansion with the love of your life, Rainbow Dash, the element of loyalty and savior of Equestria, also a soon-to-be member of the Wonderbolts. If you had told yourself a month or so ago that you'd be courting a multicolored Pegasus that shot rainbows from its flank whenever it flew really fast, you'd have slapped yourself for being on the heaviest of hallucinogenic drugs. Yet here you are, and you feel a sudden surge of happiness emanate from your chest when you realize that you wouldn't have it any other way. You'd never been one of the people to wake early. In fact, you were able to sleep most of the day away if no one interrupted you. But you always seemed to wake up faster than Rainbow, and you very much liked this. While you could never dislike Rainbow, her constant brash and confident attitude often finds ways to annoy you. You feel like it stops her from really being able to get intimate with you, and it sometimes makes you question whether or not she really likes you. However, the combination of times you caught her glancing at you when she thought you weren't looking, and moments like these put any of those doubts to rest. She's still asleep, as she most likely will be for the next hour or so. Her forehoofs are looped tightly around your chest, holding onto you as if she never wanted to let you go. Her hind legs and tail found their way to one of your legs and are snugly resting themselves there. Her chest is moving softly up and down against your torso, while her warm breath leaves her nostrils and makes its way to your neck. A small smile begins to form on your face as you think about how perfect Rainbow's hair is. It is never out of place. Hours on end of flying at supersonic speeds has made her hair rather resilient. It's a good thing to do. Her hair would look really girlish if it was tangled and entwined all over the place. It's pretty funny, actually. The day that you sort of popped into existence here, Rainbow was the one that was most clearly not trusting of you. She was also the one that took the longest to win over, out of some insane fear that you would potentially be a threat to her friends. One time in particular, Pinky had thrown you a welcome party, and Rainbow had spent the entire time glaring at you, waiting for just one mistake to pounce on you, which never came, of course. After the initial few weeks of suspicion, however, she rapidly became one of your closest friends, and you two became inseparable. You two would spend all day together, doing activities ranging from watching her practice her flying moves, to playing with some of your human technology, to endlessly pranking other ponies. One day after hours of one of your many pranking sessions, she timidly started asking you questions about some of the other ponies here, mainly whether or not you planned on actually being with one of them. You thought very carefully before finally responding with a simple, "Yes." She got a very big and flushed smile on her face before saying, "Good," and moving forward to plant a tiny kiss on your lips. Things skyrocketed from there. It wasn't long after that when you started pronouncing your love for each other. Well, mainly in private. Didn't want to embarrass her. Finally, after a long month of waiting, she timidly asked you to move into her sky mansion with her. The embarrassed and almost scared look on her face when she asked you had a strange way of breaking your heart. Her normal, daredevil attitude in abeyance for the second time since you had met her, replaced by some kind of terrifying fear of loneliness in her eyes. You said yes almost faster than your mouth could move, to which she pulled you aside, away from any prying eyes of the public, and rewarded you with the biggest bear hug she could muster, followed by a deep kiss. So now here you are. The sudden history lesson makes you wonder about your parents. Well, your entire family, actually. Would your parents be okay with this? Would your siblings still be willing to call you their blood relative if they found out that you were in love with a pony? While there were multiple sentient races here in Equestria, there weren't any other races back on Earth. And if you ever did go back, you really didn't want to get banned from all of the local petting zoos. That's not even considering the... You hear a small contented sigh leave Rainbow's lips and you break out of your daydreaming. Morning dreaming? To feel Rainbow cuddle closer to you. You feel a large grin grace your face when you suddenly realize that you don't really care what they think. You wouldn't trade her for the world. You lightly push some of her crimson-tinted hair out of her face and give her a light kiss on the forehead. She gets a tiny smile on her face and you pull her closer before drifting back into blissful slumber. This was how practically all of your mornings have gone lately, and you wouldn't have it any other way. Author's note. Thanks for reading my very first story ever. I really hope you liked it. I spent way too much time trying to think of a good story to write, and I just finally sat down and did it. I would really appreciate constructive criticism so that I can get better. Thanks again for reading.
We here at Pony&Wolf Productions thank these amazing patrons of ours for their monthly support, without which all of this would not be possible. We sincerely appreciate it, and every dollar helps, is needed, and will be used to keep us going to produce audiobooks for your continued enjoyment. It is, now more than ever, important that you support your favorite creators if possible, due to YouTube changing in a way that is not very friendly to content creators. Especially small content creators, like us. In recent months, the names you see on screen have enabled Midnight and Visual Pony to keep going and only having to sell off part of their belongings to not end up on the street. As an incentive for everyone, Visual Pony has broken a vow and has promised to read and record Fallout Equestria, Murky number 7, should the monthly support reach $1,500. To be clear, this is the absolute minimum amount needed to keep the apartment and all bills paid without starving, while a production of this size is ongoing. The estimated time for this production would be 3 to 4 years, but people already said that Project Horizons was impossible to do, right? And now look who did it, so with Pony&Wolf, you know we can finish the job. For further information on how to support us, please have a look at the description of this video, as there are also other ways, like our merch store. Sincerely and forever yours, your Pony&Wolf team.